Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy AP back with another video. Today, I have a video about what ifs. Okay, who would have the greatest what if? Who would have the greatest NBA career out of these five players? Okay, we got these are pretty obvious too. You might have more what ifs in in your head too. So in the comments, let me know down below. But today we got Tracy McGrady, Derrick Rose, Brandon Roy, Yao Ming, and Grant Hill. I'm gonna kind of go through. I'm not gonna go too specific. I'm just gonna kind of give you my thoughts about who I think would have had a better career. But to start off, it's hard to say because like one, I'm very well known with I know basketball very well. I would like to say, but I didn't know some of these guys played for as long as they did. Right, Brandon Roy had the shortest career. He had only played 6 years, and I don't really count the 6 year because he played 5 games for Minnesota, so I don't really count that. Yao Ming played 8. Derrick Rose played 15. Trace McGrady played 15, and Grant Hill played 18. So 8 and 5, that's not like those are more what ifs to me. But I get what people say, like Derrick Rose with the injuries, and obviously mostly all of these are injuries. But I'm just saying, like Derrick Rose still like he got injured 4 years into his career, got MVP, played the next year, got injured that year. So like it's still like he still went and on to play one. He still went on to play 11 years after that. So it's not, and he was pretty serviceable. Like yeah, he had a couple down years, like when he went to Cleveland, like the 2 years after, 2 3 years after, no, yeah, what, the year after he got back from injury, he averaged 16, 4 and 3, then 17, 5 and 3, then 16 and 4, and then 18 and 4 in New York, right? And then he kind of had a down slope where he went to Cleveland, and that wasn't really good. Then he went to Minnesota, which wasn't good to start, but then he had like the 50 bomb in Minnesota and stuff, and then he's kind of been bounced around and kind of just been like a serviceable backup. Um, but I don't want to talk too much about like what they did because this is all about what ifs, right? So, um, Trace McGrady didn't really have, like, a lot of these guys had injuries where like they didn't play at all, right, for the whole year. Like Brandon Roy, 2011, 2012, did not play, retired. Well, I guess he didn't have well, he had one single injury, but like didn't have him out for the season. Then he tried to come back, right? Once Brandon Roy got injured, he was kind of done. Yao Ming which is kind of crazy to me too. But like looking at his stats, I don't know how he made. It says he was an All Star at the year after he got injured, but he averaged. He only. Am I missing something? I mean, granted, I was 12 when this happened, so I don't really know. But it says he only played 5 games and he made the All Star game. I don't really know if Basketball Reference is right, or I don't know what they did. Maybe they did it to be nice. I don't know. But he averaged 10 and 5 in that. So I don't really know what that's about. Not gonna lie to you. So, and then Derrick Rose got injured 4 years, played another 11. Tracy McGrady never really had like that one injury. It was more like nagging knee injuries and stuff like that. And then Grant Hill, I believe, he had one injury in 2003 that kind of sidelined him. But he came back and was an All Star. So I don't want to say like, in my opinion, who I think would have had the best career, like, let me see. I want to say who had, I don't know, bro, because Brandon Roy came in off rip too. So my first instinct is to say Brandon Roy, but I just genuinely don't know because obviously Derrick Rose already showed. I feel like actually no, you know what? I feel like it has to be Derrick Rose, but that's just a lame answer because he was the only one that won MVP before he got injured, right? I get that doesn't necessarily mean anything because Grant Hill was a top 3 MVP candidate in 96, 97, and I'm assuming that was like a Jordan year, so that's pretty impressive. Trace McGrady was top 4 in MVP voting twice. Yao Ming was, I didn't even know they kept track of this, but top 14, but I'm not really too concerned about that. But he won. Oh, okay. Well, he wasn't really. Why do they keep? He was 24th in Defensive Player of the Year. I don't really get that. And like Brandon Roy won Rookie of the Year, was 9th in MVP race, his 3rd year in. So it's like, so I guess you would have to say who would have had the best career is Derrick Rose because he did the most before he got injured, and he he was 22 when he won his MVP. So like the ceiling was so high for him, like probably higher than we could ever imagine. You know what I'm saying? I would have, and I would have liked. So I'm gonna answer it this way. I think it would have been Derrick Rose. I would have liked to see how his game progressed, or if it didn't, and he kind of like went downhill because he was more of like, not saying like Russ Westbrook made a good name for himself in the league, obviously, but like I want, since he wasn't like that shooting, like he was more like the Russ Westbrook type, but Russ Westbrook was a better rebounder and facilitator. So it's like I don't know where, I want to see if he would have adapted and kind of got a 3 point shot. I'm not really sure, but I guess like who I think would have for their like style of game. Um, if Yao Ming started to spread the floor little bit more, I would have said that. Um, but he didn't really shoot threes at all whatsoever. In his career, obviously. So I guess honestly, Trace McGrady probably would have if he never got in. Well, I'm saying like he didn't play. He had 7 straight years of averaging more than 24 points. So it's like, yeah, we're talking about a what if for him, but like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. And he didn't really like, he played a lot of games except for his second year in Toronto, which I don't know what that had to do with it, but he was 19 years old, so that's probably why. Um, Played 70, 79, 77, 76, 75, 67, 78. Had a down year in 47 games in 2005, but then played 71, 66, and then played 35, 30. So he probably, that's probably when he got injured, then I'm assuming, because then he only played 6 in the 2009 2010 season when he only played 30 games. He played 30 for, he played 24 for the Knicks and 6 for Houston, but I think that's when. He probably got hurt. I don't know the specifics about it, but anyways, we kind of saw what he was. You know what I'm saying? I get people want to see like when, but like he was in his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like he was 21. He made the All Star game from 21 to 27. Yes, I get people. So I guess I understand where people are saying he was kind of robbed of his prime because I think he got injured when he was 28 or 29, and that's when they like really entered their prime. So I guess I get what people are saying, but I don't think you can have Tracy in this just because it's not so much of a what if. Grant Hill, same thing really, because he came back and was an all star. But I guess you still can because they got injured. Who knows that if they would have showed any sign of slowing down. Yeah, this has to be a glitch. It says Yao Ming was an all star every year of his career. Maybe he was. I don't know. I don't know nothing apparently about Yao Ming. But so the obvious answer is Derrick Rose because he already won MVP of all them. So if I had to take him out, which I get that defeats the purpose of it, I'd probably say Brandon Roy, especially since his career was the shortest. He only had 5 years, right? And he was rookie of the year his first year, and then he made an all-star game every year after that until he got hurt. Because his last year before he got hurt was, well, see, he wasn't like I think it wasn't like a season-ending injury. Obviously, I think it was, but it was like he still played some games in 2010, 2011. He just then like he's been dealing with them since he started, I think, and then he just retired because his fucking knees were shot. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Brandon Roy. Let me know in the comments down below who you guys think, and if you think so. I picked Derrick Rose because that's obvious, but in my heart, I'm gonna say Brandon Roy would have had the best career. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Make sure you leave a like and comment, please, and make sure you sub if you haven't. We finally reached 500. I almost said 500K. That'd be crazy. But 500. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy AP. I'm out. Deuces.